At the Michigan SBDC Network, our mission is simple: to help businesses grow and succeed. Our consulting, training, and information services make it easier for businesses to reach their potential. Whether you're currently in operation or just starting out, we have the right tools, resources, and expertise to help you succeed. Visit us online to get started on your path to success today. At the Michigan SBDC Network, our mission is simple: to help businesses grow and succeed. Our consulting, training, and information services make it easier for businesses to reach their potential. Whether you're currently in operation or just starting out, we have the right tools, resources, and expertise to help you succeed. Visit us online to get started on your path to success today. At the Michigan SBDC Network, our mission is simple: to help businesses grow and succeed. Our consulting, training, and information services make it easier for businesses to reach their potential. Whether you're currently in operation or just starting out, we have the right tools, resources, and expertise to help you succeed. Visit us online to get started on your path to success today.
Hello and welcome to Small Business, Big Moves, a news and entertainment talk show from the Michigan Small Business Development Center, with interviews with some of Michigan's brightest companies, the latest news and information on SBDC services, and answers to some of your most pressing business questions. And now, here's your host, SBDC Regional Director, Ed Garner.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show and good afternoon. This is Small Business, Big Moves. Hey, I'm your host, Ed Garner. Hey, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. And I'm hoping you're taking your afternoon break. It's 3 o'clock, so you should be taking your afternoon break right now, drinking a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage. So sit back. We hope you enjoy this next hour of the show. We want to first start out by thanking our sponsor, Consumers Credit Union, with who you'll hear from a little bit later. But I want to give you a little recap of kind of how the show is going to go since this is our first episode. So on these shows, we're going to be bringing in companies that I'm going to have conversations with to talk to them about the secrets and little tips and tricks and trades that they do to help their companies go to the next level. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty details and find out exactly what they did to help their companies grow. So if you're watching, or if you're a person that helps companies to grow, you'll better understand some of the things necessary to do so. So today, I'm going to bring on two women because it's Women's History Month. So in honor of Women's History Month, we're going to feature two women today on our show. These two women are SBDC clients, and they have tremendous growth, but also they are honorees and awardees for the Michigan Celebrate Small Business in the 50 Companies to Watch category. So that's a great honor. There's only 50 companies across the state selected for this honor. And these are two women-owned companies that we're going to talk about today who are in that category. Those companies are Grocer's Daughters Chocolate and Automation Industries, LLC. So those are the two companies we're going to talk about today. But we will like to invite you, and we would like to congratulate all the companies who are awardees for the Michigan Celebrate Small Business organization. The SBDC itself is a founding member of that organization. And we do a big awards gala, which is going to happen on May 3rd in the Breslin Center in East Lansing. So that's coming up very soon. So we want to congratulate all the Michigan Celebrate awardees and hope to see them at this big event. Now, if you've never been to a Michigan Celebrate Awards gala, it's sort of kind of like the Academy Awards for small business. There's going to be red carpet. People are going to be dressed in formal attire. There'll be live interviews, a live band. There's even a afterglow party that you can party to on that. So it's a great time. It's a great event. The only thing I said we won't have is no slaps this year. There won't be any slaps. So if you know what I'm talking about, you'll get that annotation in terms of the awards academy that just happened this past week. So keep that in mind. We'd love to have you join us for the Michigan Celebrate Small Business Gala on May 3rd, coming up to honor these two guests we're going to have, as well as a number of other companies too. So great. So we're going to get into the show a little bit, but before I do that, I've got to bring on the cast for today. I got to bring on my crew. So these are people you all are going to hear from today and that you're all going to see today as part of the show. So we're going to interject with these interviews a little bit of news and a little bit of Q&A too. We're going to answer a few questions that people commonly ask us as well. So I've got somebody working my news desk. I got somebody working my answer desk. So we want to bring those folks on and let you get a little introduction to them, and we're going to bring them back later. So first up, I'm going to bring on Liz Hoswell. Is going to be working the news desk today. Liz?
Hey, good to see everybody.
Super. All right, Liz, thanks for joining us. Next up is George Fotis, our SBDC consultant. He's going to be working the answer desk today. Hey, George.
Hey, everyone. Welcome, and enjoy the show.
Super. Okay, next up, we're going to bring on Lady Q. We're going to get Keyshawn Cole. Keyshawn is going to be working kind of the chat room, the comment room. She's going to be helping George with questions. So, Lady Q, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, everybody.
Okay, super. Next up, we're going to have somebody from our sponsor, Consumers Credit Union, and that is Shannon Dwyer. Shannon, are you there?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me today. Looking forward to the show.
Super. And you're going to hear from Shannon in just a few minutes here. And then lastly, I want to bring up the guy that's making it all happen, the guy that's working the controls in the back, Russell Hartley, our content management marketing specialist. Hey, Russell. Okay, super. He popped in and I don't know, he didn't say anything, but he's there. So he'll be working all the controls in the back. If any technical thing goes wrong, it's Russell's fault, okay? Not my fault. No, Russell will do a great job. That's the crew for today, guys. You'll hear from all those throughout the show. That's our lovable bunch here today, and we're going to get started in a short minute. But before we do want to take a short commercial break so you can hear from our sponsor, Consumers Credit Union.
Great. Consumers Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the Small Business Big Moves talk show, and we're excited to learn more from our women-owned businesses today. When you think about taking your business to the next level, it's important to ask yourself, who are my trusted advisors and partners? And that, of course, includes your banking relationship. Next up here, you'll see a short video business spotlight featuring one of our valued business members here at Consumers Credit Union, and that's from Nothing Bundt Cakes.
There's a lot of love that goes into these cakes because everything's done by hand. It's old school baking and frosting. This team here that pulls this off and makes this all work is an extension of our family.
This truly is a family business because there's so many days that you will come in here and our kids will be here working at the front, helping us out in the back. They like to jump in just as much as they can.
What we've learned in our lives is that you are going to have such amazing highs and lows, and partners are the one, like family, are going to help you navigate through those. And Consumers Credit Union is one of those partners. I mean, we're this small little bakery and they make us feel like this multi-billion-dollar company. They help us navigate things financially in terms of banking, but outside of the walls of Consumers, they help us find amazing partners to help further our business. And for that, we are so grateful.
It's a great business and it's great that we can do this, but to be able to give back has been amazing.
Consumers Credit Union, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, you're on Small Business Big News. You're tuned into the show. I'm your host, Ed Garner. So at the Michigan Small Business Development Center, we often try to keep abreast of all the things that can affect your business out there, all the legislation, all the programs, all the funding opportunities, things and the like. And we try to be that voice that you can trust out there to know that the programs are true. And then we try to help you navigate a lot of these programs to make your business a success. I want to bring up at this time, working our news desk with some news that you can use. I want to bring back to the stage Liz Halswell for a little breaking news today. So Liz, come on, what do you got for us?
Hey, Ed, first of all, I kind of feel like I want some cake after watching that video. Have you ever had Nothing Bundt Cakes? They're amazing. So yeah, so great. So I have some news stories for you, Ed. Thanks so much for introducing me. At the top of the news today is the Growing My Business Grant Program application is closing at 11:59 p.m. on March 31. Yes, that is tomorrow night. So if you haven't gotten your grant application in, get it in. I'll tell you a little more about it. The Growing My Business Grant is a program by the state of Michigan to distribute its American Rescue Plan Act funds, which will be awarded through grants to provide resources to businesses that meet certain criteria. $409 million is allocated towards small businesses in the state of Michigan that have lost revenue or had financial hardship due to closure during the COVID-19 pandemic. Eligible businesses may receive a grant of up to $5 million. The Growing My Business grant may be prorated depending on the number of businesses that apply to ensure that all eligible businesses can receive funding. Grants will not be distributed based on a first come, first served basis. So it doesn't matter if you got it in earlier this month or if you get it in tomorrow at 11:58. There are 9 types of businesses that are eligible for this grant, which include entertainment venues, recreational facilities, barbers and cosmetologists, exercise facilities, food service establishments, nursery dealers and growers, athletic trainers, body art facilities, otherwise known as tattoo parlors, hotel and bed and breakfast establishments. So you can apply for this grant online at www.michigan.gov/ABR. So if you fall into one of those categories, definitely check it out before tomorrow night. In other small business news, a new report from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce finds small businesses are offering more flexibility, higher wages, and new benefits to find and keep workers. The new Small Business Index created by the U.S. Chamber and MetLife shows 37% of small businesses surveyed plan to increase staff by 2022. To attract workers amid a shortage of talent, small businesses are offering new benefits and opportunities to retain and recruit workers. According to new data from the first quarter of 2022, over half of small businesses say they are concerned about recruiting enough employees to fill open positions, and they're also really concerned about employee retention. The struggles that small businesses are experiencing in hiring reflect the reality of the current tight labor market. The latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that there are 11.3 million job openings in the US, but only 6.3 million unemployed workers. So to attract workers amid a shortage of talent, small businesses are offering new benefits and opportunities to recruit and retain workers, including increasing work schedule flexibility, increasing wages, and providing employees with more opportunities to learn and grow. In addition to attracting and retaining employees, the Small Business Index indicates that inflation and supply chain disruptions are other top worries. 33% of small business owners now rank inflation as their biggest challenge. Other challenges include supply chain disruption, COVID-19 safety protocols and compliance, revenue, and employee well-being and morale. In other news, the U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA, has announced the launch of a new engagement series known as Building a Better America, a small business resource community. Working in collaboration with the Public-Private Strategies Institute, the new virtual series is aimed at connecting small businesses with SBA resources and networks as the U.S. economy returns to normalcy. Building a Better America connects small businesses with critical resources and information, including how the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, American Rescue Plan, and Made in America create opportunities to help small businesses thrive. The community also features a series of free briefings and trainings to help small businesses access and utilize these resources to grow their business and create jobs. More information is available at ppsi.org. And lastly, the Michigan SBDC's Focus 4 program can help you create the best future for your business. As the COVID-19 pandemic has undoubtedly altered the way small businesses operate and the economy opens, it is more important than ever that small businesses find support to help them succeed in a radically changed small business environment. If you want to see a bigger and brighter future for your business, the Michigan SBDC can help. You can work with your SBDC consultant to develop a sound strategic plan, help you navigate difficult times, and ultimately set up your business to thrive. Focus 4 was developed by the Michigan Small Business Development Center to help small businesses grow faster with less chaos, become healthier financially, operationally, and culturally, overcome roadblocks and issues more quickly, and build value for the owners, employees, and communities. Focus 4 helps small business owners bring alignment, accountability, and scalability to their organizations. This is a chance for your management team to work with a specialized SBDC consultant to do the work it takes for your business to thrive. And the best part, there's no charge for this service. You can find more information at www.sbdcmichigan.org. And now back to you, Ed.
Great. Thanks, Liz, for that update and that latest news. Now, if you out there and you have questions on some of the things that Liz was talking about, you can feel free to put your questions or comments in the comment section there, and one of our staff will respond to you there. We'll show you at the end of the program too how to send us your questions and your comments as well. So thanks for that update, Liz. So Liz, you said watching that bundt cake video wanted you to make cake, but I actually think you're going to want chocolate after you hear from our first guest here. So I got to tee this up. So if you ever watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, that's if you're old school, that's Gene Wilder. And if you watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that's the remake with Johnny Depp, new school. I don't think either one of those have anything on our next guest, our first guest coming up with their chocolate factory. As a matter of fact, this company's chocolate factory has been called the chocolate store for chocolate lovers. They're so confident you'll love it. And also, it's a family-owned business that's been run for almost like 18 years. It started back in 2004. We'll hear a little bit about that. But this all happens in a little place that's located in a little town that we're going to hear about called Empire. and they have a signature building that you can't miss. That's an eye-popping green building. And one of the things they do, they use really clean ingredients, socially, ethically sourced ingredients as well. That's some of their trade secrets that we hope to hear about today. So I want to bring to the show Jody Hayden, the owner of Grocer's Daughters Chocolate. So Jody.
Hi, thanks for having me, Ed.
Hey,
and there's no trade secrets. I'm happy to share all of our secrets.
Super. Okay, we're going to get the real dirt then.
Yes.
So before we hear a little bit about your company, though, I've got to ask the very first question. Where the heck is Empire?
Right. Good question. So we are just west of Traverse City, in the gateway to the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore. So the visitor center for the park is right around the corner from us. And we're just a couple blocks away from the beach. So we feel like we're in paradise, even though it's kind of a gray day today. I'm summoning summer with my background photo.
Super. So I'm glad. So I know what everybody's doing right now. They're Googling Empire, Michigan. Let me see where that's at. That's what everybody's doing right now. They're Googling Empire, Michigan to find out where you're at. And so tell us a little bit about your company and its history. Tell us a little bit about that, how it all came about.
Yep. So we were founded in 2004 by a Danish woman who was never satisfied with the chocolate that she could source in the United States. And so she's been in the US since the 80s, and she is a very dear friend of mine, kind of like we call her our chocolate fairy godmother. And so when she was building Grocer's Daughter Chocolate, I was at the time, I founded Higher Grounds Trading Company. I was building that company with my former husband, and she and I became friends. There was a group of like food entrepreneurs that would meet kind of informally and talk about business issues, concerns, share ideas. And so she was part of that group and I was part of it. And so she and I became friends in like 2004, 2005, 2006. So I knew her business really, really well. I ended up leaving specialty coffee after growing Higher Grounds Trading Company. And when she was ready to sell Grocer's Daughter Chocolate, it was a great opportunity. There's a lot of similarities in coffee and chocolate, and especially in the farmer plight issues in the sourcing. And that's my personal passion. And so it was a really exciting challenge to take on a chocolate business at that day. Chocolate is really evolving quickly, especially the specialty chocolate market. And so I'm really excited to be a part of it right now.
Super, super. So your husband is part owner in this too as well.
Yeah. So it is a family-owned business. My husband is, our partner. He's kind of the do anything that needs to get done guy. So he's invaluable in that way. We're also opening a gelato shop in June, so in a couple months, and he's the one that's refined a lot of our gelato recipes. So he's our scientist, our resident scientist.
Okay, great. So you got him in the back room right now making chocolates.
Yes, he's probably right now creating something, I'm sure.
He's back there, Chris, stirring it up. Yeah. Okay, it's super on that. So tell me about, you talked about the sourcing. Where are you sourcing your ingredients for your chocolate confection?
Right. So the bulk chocolate market, most chocolatiers in the country are buying chocolate from a distributor, and very few of them actually know the farmers that grew that cacao, it's called, and where it comes from, right? And so when I entered into chocolate after working in coffee and spending lots of time in Africa and Latin America, my goal was to make sure that our chocolate was traceable back to the farmers and that the farmers were being treated fairly. And so we created a partnership with a woman in Ecuador who now is like family to me. And there's a whole story about how I met her, but she's helping us source and make all of our chocolate at origin. So our chocolate, we're usually using about 7,000 to 9,000 pounds a year, and converting that into confections. Sorry, that's not right. 7 to 9 tons a year. So
tons a year. Okay, that sounds better.
Like a container. Yeah. And that's growing rapidly. And so the greatest thing about it is that we take our customers to Ecuador. They can talk to the farmers and meet the farmers. And so the supply chain, the transparency is really critical to our model. Yeah. And so we do that with lots of Michigan ingredients as well. We source as much Michigan as we can.
Okay. So did I hear that right? You say you take customers to Ecuador too as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't go yourself, you take customers. So how does that happen? So like in Willy Wonka, they had to have the golden ticket. So if you found a golden ticket, you got to go to the shop. So does someone have to get a golden ticket or something to get on the trip to Ecuador? How does that work?
Everybody has a golden ticket in this case. Yes. Yes. So everybody can come on that trip. It's really open to everyone. You have to be okay with rustic conditions because sometimes we sleep in places that, aren't highly comfortable because that's, these are where the farmers are. They're in rural locations. Cacao, which is the fruit that chocolate is made from, likes to grow in hot, humid conditions. So it's sea level, but among the cacao is typically eucalyptus, mango, bananas, all these really wonderful tropical fruits. And so it's a really wonderful place to visit. And the farmers are incredible. They're really inspiring people, just like our farmers here in Michigan.
Okay, that's fantastic that you do that. So are you buying them from there because that's where the best ingredients are? I mean, do they make the best cacao? Is that it?
Right. So a little bit more about the history, I guess. We bought the business in 2013. And at that time, Mimi, the previous owner and the founder, was sourcing from South America because she really liked the quality of the cacao and the chocolate. But again, it wasn't necessarily all traceable. And so when we got into chocolate, I also started sourcing from South America because we like the quality. And so Ecuador is the #1 producer of fine chocolate in the world. But the reality is, and I've learned this, in my 8 years now doing it, is that there is good cocoa and good cacao all over the world. And it's really just the practice of tending the cacao well and then taking care of it through the rest of the process. So there's fermentation, drying, roasting, this whole process to get chocolate to us. And every step that you take in that process is really important. So you can have cacao from anywhere in the world. You can either highlight it and enhance it, or you can ruin it, really. And so in that way, it's really similar to coffee too. But most cacao in the world comes from West Africa right now. And a lot of that is being funneled into the commercial commodity chocolate. So the Mars and Nestle's of the world. And it's getting mixed together, right? It's treated in a way like to make consistent product flavoring, across the product line of those companies. And for us, we really want to highlight the natural fruit flavor of the cacao. Right. So we're not as concerned about the consistency. It's an agricultural crop, but we're trying to highlight that quality. And right now in Ecuador, we love the quality that we're getting.
Super. So let me ask you this, because for our listeners and our viewers here, you're importing product into the U.S. So right. How difficult is that? There might be others who's trying to import product and stuff too. What does it take to do that? How difficult is it to do that? And who do you need to be talking to if you're trying to import product into the U.S.?
Right. So going back to this conversation about having good partners, right? So this woman that we work with in Ecuador is helping with a lot of our processing. We've decided to get our cacao and chocolate made at origin in Ecuador because more of the profits and more of the knowledge of the supply chain stays there. There are a lot of bean to bar makers now. You hear that word a lot in chocolate in the United States. But for us to build a factory here to make the chocolate here, it's probably close to $750,000 investment. And for us, it just makes more sense to take that money, right, and instead put it into selling chocolate. So developing our products. But we had to reach out to a funding partner to get our chocolate made in bulk for us. So we needed $200,000, and we worked with a local, it's not a bank, it's a financial institution called Venture North. It's a community development, like a community development fund, I think it's called. But Venture North is the name of it up here in Traverse City area. And they lent us the $200,000 we needed to bring in a container of chocolate.
Okay, super. Okay, great. So I'm gonna move on because I want to talk about your big move. So this show is about big moves.
Yes.
That's why we call it Small Business Big Moves. So I believe you've been working on an expansion plan there that you're going to add your gelato and some other things there. Tell us a little bit about that big move and that expansion plans.
Yeah, so I think as a small business owner, one choice we can make is just to create a job for ourselves, right? And we're going to work every day, and we're in the business. And And what I'm realizing is that we have an opportunity at Grocer's Daughter to have a bigger impact with our model. And so I'm trying to step out of being that owner operator and really manage and lead our team and support our team. And so we're growing right from that owner operator model into a brand. And so that's a big step for us. We went to the SBDC has helped us with the Focus 4 kind of prepare the systems that we need to make that jump. And we're moving into the frozen treats business. So in a couple of months, we're opening a gelato shop right next to our chocolate shop in Empire. But that frozen treats business is a whole new animal for us. Dairy is treated really differently than chocolate because there's more potential health issues if you aren't treating it properly. And it's just, it's a whole new market for us, but we're super excited. We're going to use Michigan dairy from Mio, Michigan. So lots of local fruits, as many local ingredients as we can. And yeah, it's a huge step, but I think for us, securing the capital was really important. And then having the systems in place to grow without tapping our staff too much.
Okay, super. Some of our listeners or viewers may want to contact you afterwards to find out how you went about that big move there. That's great. And if you're coming up that way in the summertime, you'll be able to stop in and get that gelato now. Right? That's what it sounds like. Okay, super. Great. Wow, we're running out of time here, but you got some samples for us? You got something you can show us? A few products?
So I promised to quiz you about something. So tell me the only state in the United States that can grow cacao.
The only state. California.
No, you would think California, right? No, it's Hawaii. And so in the United States, the only state that grows cacao, which is the fruit that chocolate comes from, is Hawaii. They have wonderful cacao there, but it's one of those things that cacao likes to grow near the equator. And so it's not something we can easily grow in the United States, in the contiguous United States. But it's something most people don't know. And so I just want to show you real quick. This is what a cacao fruit looks like.
Wow.
Any of you have seen a cacao fruit. This is what the inside looks like. And the chocolate is actually made from the seeds. This is a wooden replica of a cacao pod, but it looks very similar to what a real pod looks like. And so, yeah, part of what we do, or I would say 50% of what we do at Grocer's Daughter, is just to educate people about the source of, our favorite treat, chocolate, because so many people don't even know where chocolate comes from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah, it just seems like you guys got a wealth of knowledge. Once again, Willy Wonka doesn't have anything on you. I think you got them beat. You don't have Oompa Loompas, but you got your husband back there making all those treats and stuff. And so sounds like a wonderful place, wonderful shop to have there. Lastly, the last question before we depart is, why do you think you were selected as Michigan's 50 top companies to watch for this year? Why do you think that?
Yeah, I think the state is recognizing us, at least I hope, because we are putting our ethics forward. Like, we are a mission-driven business. We will not make a profit at the expense of, our suppliers, our producers, our staff. We won't. We would close our doors before we did that. And then also just, our sustainability, we want to be careful with the earth, with the natural resources. And so I think the state appreciated that about Grocer's Daughter, and also that our management team is made of women, and we have a lot of women on our team, and really I wouldn't be here without all of them. And so I think that's the other thing that that our team at the SBDC recognized. And so I feel really honored. I mean, it's a huge honor, especially in Michigan, where we have all these incredible businesses, to receive both this award. We got 50 companies to watch, and also the best small business in our district.
Best small business as well. That's fantastic. So, Jody, I wish I had more time. We thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We look forward to seeing you at the Giglio Awards, May 3rd, and have continued success and growth from your business. We thank you.
Thank you, Ed. I hope all of you come to visit me in Empire.
Okay, super. Okay, great, guys. We got to take another short commercial break here. So just stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after this short commercial break. And welcome back to Small Business Big News. Hey, our next guest I'm gonna bring on is a manufacturer. And this is once again, it's a woman-owned business. A lot of times you don't find CEOs in the manufacturing space that are women's owned. So we're grateful to have her on the show today. The company is called Automation Industries LLC. And they're described as a leading direct-to-consumer conveyor manufacturer. They design, they manufacture, they produce, they install all their products from Roseville, Michigan. I believe it's in Montcalm County. And they have customers in the automotive industry, the food service industry, heavy equipment, warehousing, fulfillment, like I imagine Amazon, and delivery. And they've won numerous awards over this past few years, just some of which has been on the Inc. 5000 list of America's fastest growing companies. They've been one of Michigan's fastest growing exporters. We just heard of somebody was importing. Now this is an exporter. They were on the Metro Detroit's best and brightest places to work. So they must be a great company to work for. A finalist for Amazon Small Business of the Year Award, an honoree for the 2021 Best of Miss Business Awards. And then finally also, as you know, they're in the Michigan 50 top companies to watch this year. So joining me to the stage is Jackie Canny, the CEO of Automation Industries LLC.
Hello, Ed. How are you?
Hey, Jackie. Glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So I know, conveyor systems that maybe is interesting as chocolate, but I still think you got a great story.
Yeah, what a follow-up, right?
And stuff. But now let me understand this. Now, in a chocolate factory, there's boxes and packages and stuff and things to be moved around, and all those can be moved around on a conveyor system that you make, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there is a connection there.
Maybe I'll connect with Jody after the show.
So yeah, you guys got to connect after the show. I just made a hookup. It's on there. So super. Why don't you start out telling us a little bit about your company and yourself?
Okay, a little bit about myself first. I acquired Automation in 2011. I was born and raised in Metro Detroit. My father was a tool and die maker, and no way did I ever think I would get involved in manufacturing. I did work for a financial services company in college, and then I had a couple of careers before this. I worked in the pharmaceutical industries for about 13 years. And I also worked in the hospitality industry for about 9 years. And those two positions really taught me to be customer-centric focused. And that taught me that that's really the key to any business. I got my master's degree in my late 40s, but I think the customer service edge is really what helped move us along.
Okay. So it sounds like I heard one of the secrets to your success, the customer focused agency. Is that right? Is that what I heard?
Absolutely. Okay. And then you had asked about the history of the business too. When I purchased this business, it was during the recession. It was kind of risky for me at that time. It was 2011, and I looked at it as a turnaround opportunity. It had previously been owned by two brothers. They really had no succession or marketing plan. So I kind of had to revitalize every aspect of the business, from the website, the branding, the product engineering, things like that, because they primarily made tire wheel mounting and inflation systems and did some conveyor work as well. They would do just customized work, and that was the crux of their business. So I kind of saw an opportunity at that time. Offshore manufacturing was big. I saw an opportunity in this area if we could do manufacturing here and keep it local, because some of the systems that we design are very big, and people like to purchase local. They like to have it come quick, and that we're closer to the end customers in a lot of instances.
Okay, super. So you're the second business. So our first guest, Jody, bought her business to
Yeah.
You bought your business too from an existing person. So
Correct.
I want to ask you a little bit about that. So we at the Small Business Development Center, we kind of have a team that works with companies just trying to buy and sell businesses as well. We
Mhm.
see that as a good path to starting out. You know, people don't think oftentimes about buying a business and growing a business. So what, you know, kind of what steps did you take to go about purchasing the business?
Well, I pretty much just purchased the rights to the name and some of the processes, the patents for the tire and wheel machines. So that was self-funded,
Hmm.
the initial purchase, and then we rented the building that we're in. We were in. We currently own the building now, but we were renting the building initially. Was just a very large group of faith initially. Worked many hours. We expanded the business to not just do tire and wheel. We expanded to do conveyors through a variety of industries. You know, automotive you mentioned.
Hmm.
Indoor vertical farming is one. Also, we supply to a lot of distribution center categories. You know, like the big warehouses that ship things out all the time.
Okay, super. So let me ask you, you are a certified, you have your certification as a women business enterprise
Yeah.
in the manufacturing space. So we often get that question too at the Small Business Development Center. You know, is it worth going through the process of getting, you know, a small business certification and women-owned certification?
Right.
Has that proved beneficial for you at all?
Right. Well, it is a process to go through, that's for sure. It gets easier. I've renewed it every single year. And I do appreciate the networking opportunities. And in some areas, it's helped us. Government sales, for example, you need to be what they call it WeBank certified. And those companies who are actively looking for a woman-owned business. But, you know, manufacturing is unique. I thought it would help a little bit more, but I think industry specific, you know, it might be beneficial for other industries. For this particular industry, it really comes down to who has the best product, the best pricing, and the best service.
Okay, super. So WeBank. So what does that stand for again? Is that Women's
Business
Enterprise
National Council.
National Council?
Something
Okay,
like
so
that. I hope I have that right.
okay, so if people want to look that up and inquire
Yeah,
about
the
trying to get
Great
that
Lakes Division.
certification, that's one of the agencies. I know there's a few other agencies that can do certifications for women. I think the one you mentioned is the largest one.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the largest one, and I go through the Great Lakes chapter.
Okay, super. So yeah, that's good to know. So we appreciate that feedback on that. So let's talk about when you bought the company. So it's been about 10 years, right? Since you bought the
Yeah.
company?
Yep.
Okay, and since that time you've grown it. And I think I read in some recent articles you've even been able to accomplish a 30% growth, you know, year over year in some years. So that's very interesting. So I'm sure our viewers, they want to know how in this climate, how you go
Right.
by going
Right.
30 to 30% in a year, you know, year over year.
Right. Well, we didn't do that initially. We made some pivotal changes in 2015 where we decided we were going to invest in SEO, search engine optimization, so that we could sell or get the attention of some of the purchasing agents to send them to our website. So that was in 2015. In 2016, we decided to target individual buyers and companies for individual products for online sales rather than just designing and building entire systems. So we expanded our e-commerce market extensively. We expanded into vertical farming, which they call ag tech. That's a real growing industry for, you know, food security and using less land. I think it's like 1 acre of a vertical farming unit is equivalent to 15 acres of land. So it's locally grown, locally sourced products. That's continue to be part of our growth as well. So those two things are what have allowed us to grow year over year.
Okay, super excellent. Okay, so this is small business, big news. So what would you consider your big move? Is it taking it from that growth from when you bought it there? Or I think you've got some new facilities and so forth too that you're moving into. So what would you consider your one of your biggest moves?
Probably our move onto online sales. In this industry, it's big, bulky products. When I first acquired the product in 2011, I too did a new brochure to pass out to people. It used to be sales reps knocking on doors, and that changed. Amazon happened, right? We have our own website too, but the purchasing agent was now not just getting their information from individuals. They were going online. They wanted the best price. They wanted the fastest price. It's a more sophisticated buyer. So I think that move on to online sales was probably our biggest move. In fact, we were just awarded a contract to build the world's largest vertical farm. We're doing the manufacture, design, and installation for that as well. So that was probably our biggest move. We also made a move to get into food grade conveyors as well. So that's allowed. So, it's a little risky. We listen to our customers. What do they need? What are they buying from us? What can we supply to them?
Okay, great. So we're just about at time. So I really wanted to dig in and ask you a little bit more about the government contracting aspect, but in advent of time, I do want to ask you our last question I asked the other guest is, why do you think you were selected for the Michigan's top 50 companies to watch this year?
All right. Well, first of all, that's a great honor. We're honored to receive that. I think that award kind of recognizes the diversification that we've had to do as a company. We're not just a one-trick pony. We've had to diversify and grow while continuing to innovate for many of our automotive customers. So that's special to us.
Okay, super great. And congratulations once again. I know you've worked with the Small Business Development Center throughout the years as well. So hopefully our agencies have helped you along the way and will continue to help you.
Yes, they did. They allowed us to do some exporting to other countries. They assisted us with a financially for that as well. And that was of great assistance until that was in South America. And then that economic area tended to decline. So yes,
okay.
But they did help us.
Okay, great. I'm glad we're here to help, and we will always be here to help you whenever you need us. So
thank you.
that's about our time for today. I want to thank you once again for joining the show. We congratulate you once again, and we will see you, like I say, on May 3rd at the awards gala for sure. If you want to reach out to Jackie, we'll have her information there. Companies or viewers may want to reach out to you, find a little bit more about that procurement opportunities and how to get involved in that. There's a whole process for that as well. So we just thank you so much for the little time that you give us today. We know you're busy, so thank you for being on the show today.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.
Bye now. Okay, great guys. So we're going to take just another short little break here, and then we'll be right back for a few answers from our answer man, George Fotis.
My name is Kelly Osborne, and my husband Troy and I have more companies than children, and that's saying a lot because we have 5 kids. We own companies all the way from engineering firms to property management to corporate catering companies, and we actually started a whole new company during COVID, literally the week COVID hit. So talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. We start companies simply for the focus of workplace engagement and organizational health. We believe that innovation comes from limitation. So we did not want to waste this crisis. We wanted to gain some muscle from it. It's all how you seize the opportunity. And I don't want to take that lightly. I don't want that to sound ostentatious of us, but there is opportunity, and you do have to dig for it, especially if you want to survive, right? What we did quickly is partnered with some of our previous clients like Covenant Hospital. They rolled out an initiative to support small restaurants and businesses and caterers. And we joined forces with them, and we were taking over twice a week huge quantities of meals to Covenant healthcare workers. It kept our employees going. We were allowed then to file for the PPP and use it. It was such a great relationship during that time. I mean, we became so innovative. I mean, we're a corporate caterer, LPGA, NBC, big, huge events like that. There are none. A beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you can pivot, you can adjust. We are so nimble as entrepreneurs that we can quickly change gears and realize, wow, I mean, even Nestle Toll House cookies were made through limitation. You know, they didn't have the right ingredients. And look, we've been making those for probably 100 years now.
Great, and welcome back to the show. Hey, in this last segment that we want to try to address a few questions that we commonly get here at the SBDC. We get many questions all the times about every aspect of business operation. And we have over, I think, probably now about over 120 business consultants out there in the field, all with tons of business experience and years of experience. So if one consultant doesn't know the answer, they have a ton of consultants to rely on to help address those questions. That's part of the strength of the Small Business Development Center, that we do have a network of consultants that can help you address many of your business concerns. So today, I want to bring on George Fotis to address a few questions that we commonly get. And I'm going to bring on Lady Q with him to ask. She'll be asking the questions, and George Fotis will be answering the questions for us today. We probably only going to have time for a couple of questions. If you do have questions you want us to consider for future shows, you can put them in the comment box, or we'll tell you where to send them after the show. So with that, Lady Q, George, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Ed. And hi, George.
Yeah. Hey, Q. How you doing?
Good. It's been such a pleasure hearing from Jody and Jackie about how they started their business and the big moves that they've made. And so I'm sure a lot of our clients and listeners are probably interested in how they can be a part of the top 50 companies for Michigan to watch. And so the first question we have out there reads, how do you determine if a business has a good chance of success?
Yes, good question. So that's kind of a question that we do get asked quite a bit. And I do want to point out that although we can't guarantee, or there's not a guarantee that you're going to be successful 100% of the time, working with the SBDC, stats do show that you do stand a better chance of being successful as a business. And one of the things that you do want to concentrate on, and that we always talk about with new business startups and even existing businesses that want to launch a new product or service, is trying to get that market validation, right? Does it make sense in what you're trying to do? And one of the ways to do that is through market research. And there's two types of market research that we like to talk about. There's the primary research that you would do, and that would be doing interviews, focus groups with your current clients or prospective clients, and trying to figure out if it makes sense, right? If what you're doing, are you really filling a need with your product and service, and also identifying who your competition is. One of the ways we do that through is called the SWOT analysis: your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and really getting a feel for how do you compare with your competition as far as the customer service they offer. I always like to say, shop your competition. Write down your likes and dislikes, and kind of learn from there, and which gives you a really good base as far as being successful in your business.
That's great. Shop your competition. I like that. I'll have to steal that one from you. All right. So we have a few minutes left, and I think we have time for probably one more question. And so I know Jody and Jackie both talked about funding and purchasing their businesses. I know one of the questions that we get most often is, where can you find grants or other types of funding for a business, and what do you need to prepare?
Yeah, great question, and that is a real popular question that we get quite a bit as well. And I should point out that the SBDC is kind of a grant in itself, because we do offer education and consulting at no cost. But besides that, when you do sign up for our services, you'll be in the know and you'll have privy to grants that do pop up every once in a while. For example, through the pandemic, we had the recent grant through the Pure Michigan Small Business Relief Initiative, where they offered up to $10 million in grants during the pandemic, which was very popular. And then, as Liz just pointed out, the recent one that's going on right now, the Afflicted Business Relief Grant that actually closes down tomorrow. That's another grant opportunity. There's like over $400 million on the table. There is a criteria, though, that you do have to meet. It does involve certain businesses, such as restaurants and recreational businesses, venue businesses. So you do want to check the checklist on the application process for that to see if you do qualify. And then there are other grants too through the MEDC. There's the Michigan's STEP program, which has to do with exporting. If you're interested in exporting, there is grant opportunities for that as well. And then I do want to point out too that pitch competitions. I've actually had many clients win pitch competitions, and actually recently I just had a client that took the big prize in the women's Ford competition called the Michigan the Women Up pitch competition. But so there's Star Garden, that's a pitch competition that's annually, and they award you have a chance to win up to $20,000. That's free money there. And then there's a 5x5 night pitch competition that's done monthly, where you get a chance to pitch your idea. You have 5 minutes to pitch your idea in front of 5 judges for a chance to win $5,000. So I definitely recommend anyone who's interested in doing that to apply for that as well.
All right, thank you. So it sounds like there are a lot of grants and funding opportunities out there, but as always, the SBDC is a great place for us to start. So George, thank you so much for your time and answering some of our most pressing questions.
Absolutely, and I do want to say congrats again to Jackie and Jody on their success, and I am looking forward to meeting them at the Michigan Celebrates.
Same here. Ed, we'll turn it back over to you.
Great. Thanks, guys. And thanks for answering a couple of those questions. Like I said, we'll try to roll a few of those questions into every episode. Our main focus is really to try to talk to more and more companies to find out specifically what they did to help themselves grow so that we can help your company grow. And if you're working with companies that are trying to grow, we can do so as well. So one of the things that the SBDC that we have that can help in that process, is the Focus 4 program that Liz talked about earlier. And also last year, the SBDC did a series, a training webinar series on breaking the $1 million barrier. I think it was a 4 or 5 part series. If you're interested in seeing that series, we can get you connected with that. It was pre-recorded. And so that's something you may want to tune into and check out if you're trying to grow your business. You heard about buying and selling. These two companies also purchase their businesses, which is a great way to do. Purchasing the business and growing them to the next level. That's an excellent way to get into the business opportunities. And you heard that these businesses also done importing as well as exporting. So we didn't talk a lot with Jackie about her exporting opportunities, but she's done exporting as well. So these are two great examples of how companies are growing, diversifying, and building and getting to that next level with their business. If you have show ideas, or if you have companies you'd like us to feature on the upcoming shows, feel free to put them in the comment box or watch the ending credits, and we'll tell you how to get in contact with us to put your comments or suggestions. As always, we want to thank you for joining the show today. And stay tuned for the ending credits for some further information about the SBDC, our speakers, and how to leave us comments. We'll love to hear from you. Thanks for joining for this first episode, everybody, and have a great afternoon. I think your break is over.